All right. Um, Little change in scenery today. Now I'm in my bed. Um, y'all ever watch Modern Family? I feel like Modern Family is just a classic show. But if you haven't, there's this character Phil Dunphy. Okay, and sorry, I sound a little bit sick. Been getting over TS, but there's this character Phil Dunphy, right? And one of these episodes, he has this like bit. He's like the dad of this family, and he's like a sweet, nice guy, wholesome character, right? And he has this bit during one of the episodes where he has this like book, and it's called Philosophy or Philosophy or some shit. And it's basically just a bunch of like anecdotes and life lessons he's learned, and it's like a sweet collection. He like gives it to his daughter, and it's all like happy and stuff. Um, but yeah, so like for me, obviously I'm not some middle-aged dude with a loving wife and a household of 3 children yet, or hopefully. But if I were to write a book about like life lessons or like things to live by, I know I would say be your own therapist, right? And I made a video other day where I was trying to like convey this message of being your own therapist, and like I try to like do therapy for myself in front of the camera. It just wasn't that good. So this is like part 2, or you know, and like it's like a sequel or whatever. But yeah, okay, let me begin. I think first of all, I just want to say like whenever I make videos, this sounds egotistical, but I like watch my videos, right? Like they're for me. They're not made for anyone else. So like I'll record a video and like I'll rewatch it to see if like I like it. And well, then when I'm immediately rewatching a video, I'll consider like who might watch it, or I'll consider what this like portrays of me if I'm like deciding to post it or not. And then but then besides that, I do look back at my videos and like I want to see what was I saying, what was I thinking, even a few months ago it's different. So it's not. Also, I know some people say they don't like the sound of their own voice. Maybe I am just like a raging narcissist, but I feel like I don't. My voice doesn't annoy me anymore. So I don't know. That's just an aside. But yeah, but when I'm rewatching these videos, I like a lot of the times I'll think, because it's the same person, right? I'll like try and predict what I'm gonna say next, and most of the time I get it right, obviously, because it's like the same person. And yes, people change, but we don't change that much in like a few months. But it's nice to be reminded of what I was saying. However, sometimes I'll rewatch a video and I'll be like, I really just did not say something that well there, or I didn't articulate something right, or I didn't convey my message that well. And that's what I feel with this being your own therapist concept, right? So I didn't want to just leave it at this one like lackluster video, because when I made that video, I was also like just going through it like mentally. I was just not in a good spot. And I mean, not saying that I'm in a better spot right now. I guess I could get into it later, but like mentally right now I'm just like so. Um yeah. I mean, I guess I'll give a recap of my day before I jump into things. I didn't wake up because I didn't sleep. I stayed up all night, which was fun. So like what? Saturday, because today's Sunday. So then Saturday night I didn't fall asleep. I just like bed rotted and didn't do any work and just felt super. I don't know. Just felt really bad. But then I was like, okay, fuck this. It's like 8 in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna hit the gym up. If I'm not gonna sleep, I might as well like do something productive, feel good about myself. And then I like check on my phone to see if the gym is open, because I'm like just making sure. The gym's fucking closed at 10. It opens at 10. So I'm like, fuck. And I was already outside the building. So I had to go back in, like do a walk of shame, like do like the good old like looking at my phone and be like, what? And then like turn back around and go right back to where I was coming from. And that was sad. But I go back into my dorm room like, okay, I mean, 2 more hours I can just wait and then be right at the gym and just like start working out. So I had to like figure out something to do for 2 hours. So I just did work, which was low-key good. I was like very productive for like a solid hour and a half. I just like got some computer science stuff done and a math thing done, which was good, and a physics thing done. So I felt pretty good about myself. Then I was like, okay, I need 20 more minutes, or like I need to like wait 20 more minutes. So I was like, haven't finished Vinland Saga yet. Might as well finish Vinland Saga. Bet. Put on Vinland Saga. Finished it. And I was like, nice. Let's go. Watched Vinland Saga. And I finished it. What is a true warrior, Thorfinn? You know. There's a land far across the sea. I don't know. Vinland Saga was good. But I don't really have any... I already knew like what the ending was going to be like. Because it's kind of obvious. Like, the last episode was just him going back to fucking... Sorry for the spoilers, but going back to his hometown and going to Vinland. Which was nice. Yeah, and then I went to the gym, worked out, and I was like super like fueled at the gym today. Yeah, it was just like, I don't know, I was very motivated. Like, I want to like, take my anger out on the weights, which is so cringy. Like, to be honest, I hate that cringe like gym aesthetic of like, freaking, I loved her, and like you're just like, like I think it's very cringy. But I don't know. Yeah, like righteous anger can make you feel like, can make you get a couple reps out, and like my boobies feel tired, which is good. Hit chest, hit some shoulders too. The shoulders are sore, which is such a good feeling. Then I hit abs, because that's my goal, bro. Like, I'm trying to get abs in like 2 weeks. Okay, don't clown on me, because I think it's big muscle, bro. It's big muscle propaganda saying you can't get abs like really fast. Like, I'm just gonna like, cut like crazy, like eat like nothing, and then just hit abs every day. And if I don't have abs in 2 weeks, then I don't know how else you would get abs. So that's my body goal for the next 2 weeks, is to starve max and rip abs every day and just be fucking lean and shit. Then I'll like feel good about myself. Yeah, then I got home from the gym. I mean, okay, I said that, and like I low-key had pizza at the Union. But that's all I ate today was a piece of pizza, a bag of chips, diet soda, which doesn't count. Other calories I ate was soup, like the spicy noodles, because I made another spicy noodle thing. That's 500 calories. Bag of chips was like 200 calories, I think. I can't remember. It was like 250, I think. That's 750. Slice of pizza was, so the noodles, chips, 750. We'll call it 800. And then slice of pizza, I mean, I guess like 500. It might be even more, like 600, because it's kind of big. So like, let's say 1,400 calories. And then milkshake or protein shake, 150. I mean, your boy hit his calories, I guess. Did not hit protein, but to each their own. Nothing I can do. Yeah, I got back. Tried to do work. Well, no, I was like scrolling, and then I called my friend, because I was talking with my friend on the way back. And then he was like, okay, I gotta go. He said he's gonna, he went and like watched one of my vids. And then like, and I was like, okay, bet. And then I started doing my laundry while he was like watching the vid. So I was just like alone, scrolling on my phone, doing my laundry. And then I was like about to fall asleep, because I didn't sleep, right? So I was like, oh my God, I'm about to fall asleep. And I can't fall asleep, or else my laundry is just going to be sitting in the fucking things, in the machines. So I call my friend up again, and he tells me, and he watched my insecurity video. And he was like, yeah, that was a fucking shit video. And I agree with him. And that was a very long intro to this part where that the insecurity video, right, was just me being very sad at myself. And I basically just listed off things I hate about myself, right? Like all these things that I don't like. And that was not being my own therapist, okay? If you go to therapy, you don't just list off things you hate about yourself, and the therapist is just like, yeah, bro, you're chopped. That's not what happens. what is kind of all right, so let's just break the insecurity video down a little bit. It was like 2 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning. I was feeling sad about myself. I can't even remember why. I just made a video about, well, it's because I watched a YouTube video about insecurities, and I was like, well, maybe I should just like talk about my insecurities, because that's something to talk about. And then the more I talked about my insecurities, the more sad I got thinking about my insecurities, right? Like, whoop-de-doo. And what's it called? Wait, I'm low-key remembering I might have to delete stuff from my thing. I might, this video might get cut because I don't have storage on my phone, and then I'll rage. Anyways, I'll try and be fast and concise. But so there's a bad cut. That's what happened. So I like listed off my insecurities, but they didn't actually help. It didn't help with anything. And I think a good anecdote for this is freshman year, I would always make jokes about my weight, self-deprecating humor, which is, and my biology teacher, God bless her heart, took me aside and kind of explained to me how self-deprecating humor is really just a defense mechanism, so you can feel like, so you don't. It's just a defense mechanism against people making fun of you, right? It's like saying, look at me. I think it's so funny that I'm fat, and I know I'm fat. So if you make a joke about it, it's okay because I make jokes about it, and we can just laugh together. And now you're not laughing at me, and we're friends now, and I'm not getting bullied, right? That's the kind of psychologic breakdown of what you're doing when you're making these self-deprecating jokes. And so that was and every time I made these jokes, it was kind of an acknowledgement of my insecurities, but it didn't accomplish anything, right? It didn't lead to anything. I didn't feel better about myself. And honestly, I mean, I'm not that same little kid that this like, well, I mean, I'll be honest. I think maybe I am. There's still like a part of me that is that 14-year-old kid. I'm thinking, you guys know like Mean Girls, not the movie, but like when you're in like middle school, maybe elementary school too, and maybe like start of high school, because that's where this anecdote is coming from, and you meet somebody, and well, this is from a guy's perspective. I don't know if it might be the same for the girls, but from the guy perspective, and like you talk to like a girl, and they like just laugh or giggle. It's not a laugh, it's a giggle, or it's like a snicker. That's a good word. It's like a snicker, and like they're with a group of their friends, and they kind of, that they're laughing at you, but it's not obvious enough where you can like do anything about it, and you get this like sinking pit like feeling in your stomach, and you're just like, you get all nervous and tensed up, and you get scared. And that feeling is, wow, it's I guess it's a rite of passage for ugly, chopped people like myself. Well, that was not very nice. That wasn't kind to myself. I have to have better like self-talk. I tell that to my friends to have better more positive self-talk, and I don't really always practice that. So that was not very nice of me. But back then, in freshman year of high school, I'm thinking about this one interaction, and because like, 8th grade was like hybrid year, so I didn't really interact with anybody because I was like playing Rainbow Six Siege in my sweaty ass room with a fucking dirty room, clothes everywhere, unkempt, showering like 2 times a week maybe. It's not even an exaggeration. Low-key might have been worse. Barely eat, or no, I ate. I mean, I definitely was eating food. Didn't exercise, didn't go outside, right? I went from that to like high school, and I went to a small high school, so like there was like not many of these people. I hadn't had like an interaction with a girl where like they were like, put in that situation of where you feel like shit, and you feel like they're laughing at you, and you feel like just like a thing. You feel like you don't even feel like a person, and you feel really sad about yourself. So I hadn't experienced that in a minute, and it just caught me off guard when this happened. And I can still remember it. It was like field day, freshman year. It was the first time I had met this person, and that feeling was so like I I can only describe it as scary. Like I was so scared, like just scared. And this whole anecdote is really just to say I still feel that today, right? And I was just saying how like I've grown and I've become more secure with my body and like my physical appearance. I don't think I have. I think I've just objectively looking at myself, like if I don't think about my past experiences, my daily interactions with people, if I'm completely like, and this will sound egotistical, but if I'm completely objective, I know I'm not unattractive, right? Like I know I'm not fucking, I know I'm not disgusting. Like I'm not morbidly obese. I could lose some weight, sure, but I know I'm like not short. You know, I know my face is not entirely like messed up. And you know, I don't have like a double chin or anything. I mean, I used to back in the day. But yet, and you know, all these facts, all these things are true, and yet, you know, I'm walking around campus and there's like, you know, you'll see these like packs of girls, or like in class, like one of these classes, like it happened the other day. I have that same exact feeling. And I don't think these people like mean to hurt you or mean to do it. It's probably might even be like a defense mechanism for them to be like in a group and sheltered and like laugh at other things to make themselves feel more secure, which who knows, maybe that was the same thing that happened freshman year of high school, and maybe that's what's happening now, but it still generates the same negative feeling in myself. So yeah, I don't know. That was just a long-winded way of saying maybe I haven't grown in my securities, and I wonder why that is. And I guess that will be the thing I'm trying to work through today, being my own therapist, right? Which is okay. Let's put a pin in that, right? Like think of this episode with two lines of plot here. There's one where it's the current plot of things happening in my life, in which I'm trying to be my own therapist for, and the second plot is me defending my claim that you should be your own therapist. Okay, so we're gonna put a pin in the being my own therapist today and explain why I think being your own therapist is useful. Damn, bro, this is gonna come out confusing. I hope it's not confusing. Let me know in the comments. But anyways, being your own therapist, right? Like I was just doing. I was just, first of all, reflecting. And I think being your own therapist just makes you so aware, right? In philosophy, we're learning about this person. We learned about this person named like, her name was like something Foster Waldo or something, and she was just like this rich person that lived in La La Land, and was rich and had a bunch of people that followed her, like had a paid for entourage that told her she was really good at singing, and that she was like an amazing singer. Fact of the matter was she was shit at singing, right? But she surrounded herself with people that told her she was good at singing, and so she believed she was good at singing. Now, if she had some better self-reflectiveness and could actually take herself out of her life and look at stuff objectively, maybe she would have realized that she actually wasn't good at singing. And I think that's an important skill, is being able to look at stuff objectively, and look at your life as an objective bystander. Because you're not always going to have somebody to say, hey, you know, like, dude, I'm alone in my dorm room right now. My roommate is at home. He's coming tomorrow, and nobody's calling me. There's no one on the phone. No one's knocking on the door. Am I going to be able to say, hey, like, look at stuff objectively and give myself real answers? Or am I just going to, you know, feed my brain what it wants to hear? Which I think is super easy to do. Like, let's say like I'm currently in a negative kind of thought cycle, and my brain just wants to hear negative stuff about me, like, oh, I'm chopped, I'm ugly, I'll never find love, blah blah blah. I'm too dumb for these classes. Everyone else is smarter than me in my classes. That's what my brain like wants to hear. But if I be my own therapist a little bit, take myself out of my situation and just look objectively, right? Am I the smartest person in my classes? No. Am I the dumbest? No. There's definitely some not so smart cookies or not so sharp tools in the shed, as they say. And I'm doing just fine, right? Like, there's no rush. Um, sure, like, you know, other people will be ahead of you, but that's true in like every facet of life. Like, there will always be someone ahead of you. There'll always be someone that's smarter. There always will be someone that's harder working. There's always will be someone that's more ahead, has more money, everything, every accolade you can think of. There's someone better, right? Um, so I think I just need to give myself grace with that. But yeah, I think the person you're going to be alone with, the person you're going to be with the most in your life is yourself. And I think what I've felt being my own therapist now for like, a year plus, is that I'm very, very comfortable with being in my own thoughts, right? Like, and I'll tell myself, I was like walking to the gym today. I was like, I don't know, I was ticked off about something. And I said in my head, I said, well, this is another thing. Some people don't have a inner monologue. So if you don't have an inner monologue, I don't really know how you're supposed to be your own therapist. I don't know how to do that. My bad. Sorry for you. But maybe like write it down. I don't know. But I was thinking in my head, I was like ticked off. I was like, articulate why you're mad. Okay. In my head, I said that like verbatim. I said that. I was like, say why you're mad. Make it clear why you're mad. And don't just feel mad. Okay. There's a big difference between that. And I think that's something that's super important. There's a huge difference between just sitting there sulking and being, pissed off. Like, I'm fucking mad at something. You can just sit there in your anger, or you can be angry and know why you're angry, right? Like, if you want to just sit there and just let kind of emotions like flow through you and whatnot, you can let that happen. But let's say, I'm a person that has struggled with anger issues, right? Like, that's something I'm pretty open about that. Like, it fractured my relationship with my father and my brother, and to some extent my mom, and really like probably set me back in more ways than I know. So for me, I don't like feeling anger. I understand that anger is an emotion. Is first of all, it's an emotion that it's bad to suppress it, right? So like being mad and just being like, oh, I'm not mad. I'm fine. I'm whatever. It's fine. That's not the right move. Instead, you want to work through your anger and actually let the anger like release, right? And not bottle it up. And how you do that is by articulating, at least in my mind, articulate why you're angry, kind of break it down into smaller parts of saying, hey, what's the genesis, right? What was the trigger? What made you angry? Why did that make you angry? And then what can you do about it? Very simple. But if you just sit there and just be like, I'm mad, and that's all you know about yourself, and that's all you care about, then you're going to sit there and be mad for a long ass time. And you might never stop being mad. It might just go away somewhere deep inside of you and then, come out of you again. Right? So yeah, I think those are some pretty good reasons to be your own therapist, if I say so myself. Be comfortable with your thoughts, articulating your emotions. If you don't want to feel certain emotions, articulating them, and then it will help you be able to understand how to stop feeling those emotions. And yeah, that's true. That's fair. So then let's go back to my life, right? Let's go back. Let's be my therapist. Let's give myself an example, right? So obviously, like, what was it, like 2 days ago, Friday night, I was very sad. Why was I sad? I think the BP might be getting to me. I think I've been looking at a lot of BP edits recently, and they've been definitely getting to me. And like, those are not good, right? I'm a person that feels very unmoved by the internet, I don't. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I think I do. I get a lot of information and a lot of like, social media is sometimes your closest contact with kind of stuff like religion, politics, news, and comedy, stuff like that. It's kind of your closest thing that gives you the instant, not the instant, the just gives you that connection, right? So I'm not gonna say like I'm never moved by social media, but I think that I'm a person that doesn't like. I don't like to believe that social media shapes my ideology, but maybe I'm wrong. I see a lot of pro-Palestine stuff, and that makes me and that aligns with my belief. But does my belief align with the social media, or does the social media align with my belief? Right? Does that make sense? Like, was my belief constructed by the social media that I consume, or was my social media catered to me because my belief or because of what I believed in? I don't know. But I do know is that I believe in a free Palestinian state. I don't think that Israel has the right to, what's it called? Gentrify and ethnically cleanse the land of Gaza, and they don't have the right to kill children, starve children. I also, to get into more of a theological argument, I don't believe that Jewish people are God's chosen people because I don't believe in God. So those go hand in hand. And I don't think that a Jewish person's life is worth any more than a Christian or a Buddhist or a Mormon or an atheist and agnostic. I think that, I am no, what's that dude's name? Anubis, right? I'm no weigher of souls, but what I do know is that roughly one person's soul, regardless of what they believe in, is equal to the weight of another person's soul, that regardless of what they believe in. So, yeah, I don't think anyone has any more weight than another person. But that's just an aside, right? Where was I? Yeah, so BP. So maybe BP is making me start to believe. Well, I think that I definitely like influenced partially by it, right? Like, you'll never find love if you're chopped. And maybe that made me, over the weekend feel really sad thinking about how I'll never be loved. I'll never like have a wife and kids. I'll like never like get attention. I think that's the other thing. I think I've never talked about it before on here. How much I crave attention, right? Like, I'm an attention seeking person. I definitely am, right? Like when I went to that Charlie Kirk vigil, I'll be honest, I low-key did want to argue with people. I low-key did want attention. Not just because I disagreed with what they were saying, but also because I just like being the center of attention sometimes, which I don't really know why. It doesn't make sense. Like, you usually see this like pattern of psychology when, it's like someone that was like neglected at home and like didn't get attention from their parents, so then like they want attention from like their teachers in school. I mean, my parents gave me plenty of attention, so I don't know. Maybe it's just some like not nurture but nature, and that's just how I am. But yeah, like over the weekend, like maybe this whole BP stuff kind of maybe totally had me thinking like, or has me thinking that I'll never find love if I'm like chopped, and how like I'll never get like attention from girls, and that made me sad. And then like I made an insecurity video about all my insecurities, because they were all like kind of insecurities that matter for like attraction, right? Like, what do I say? Like my eyes, my fat, my height. Yeah. So maybe that's the reason. And now, okay, that's the reason. That's the reason I was feeling those emotions. And I don't want to feel sad about myself, right? So now, that's why I felt it. Wait, I fucked it up. That's the reason, like the trigger, right? So then why do I get sad thinking about that? Let me think here. Why do I get sad? I think FOMO. is probably up there, right? Like like a fear of like never being with anyone. That's probably up there, right? That's probably up there. Yeah, that's probably it. If you really think about it, feeling like left behind. Yeah, I think that's a good. That's a good like why I felt it, right? And then what can I do? I mean, I could tell myself certain. Obviously, there's rhetoric that says like, right person comes or you're not behind, but I definitely am, right? I'm like 17, so yeah, I'm definitely behind, which is that sucks. But then again, like people are behind in all sorts of things, and I'm ahead in other categories too, right? Like if you think about it, you know, I'm sorry, I'm ahead in other categories maybe, you know, physical fitness. I work out all the time. That's not everyone's doing that at my age. Although it feels like it's everybody, but not everyone does. Not everyone works out all the time. I'm pursuing higher education. That's not everyone has the opportunity to do that. Um, so that's another thing I might be ahead in. I have good work ethic. These are things that I'm ahead in, right? Or I like to think I am, at least a little bit. So then, but honestly, I don't really know what to tell myself about the being behind. I mean, I don't know, like, it's, I guess it's just like a fact of my life, and you can't change that. Um, it it's kind of a sobering thought of like I'm in college, bro. High school's over. I remember like watching TV shows as a kid and seeing like and like they'd have that like you watch like a sitcom and it'll be like some like side character that's like there for like maybe one or two episodes and it's like a couple and it's like they were high school sweethearts. Then everyone's like, oh, that's so weird, or wait, no, it's not so weird. Like that's so crazy, like blah blah blah. Like I can't believe they like met in high school and stuff. And sometimes it's a good relationship, sometimes it's not. But that probably planted some sort of seed in my brain, as young Malik was watching it, hand fist deep in a bag of Doritos. Um, right, that made it seem like. I mean, I've talked about it before about how like, you know, I thought like shit was gonna happen in high school, but it turned out you actually had to do the side quests for it, and it's not part of the main quest, which is all true. Um, but it's like, damn, I'm really like in a college dorm right now, almost. You know, give it a couple weeks, it's already been a month, and never gonna have a high school sweetheart, right? 100 boys, 100 men versus never having teenage love. That's a pretty sobering thought. Okay, so I'm feeling sad right now. Now this is a shitty therapy session then. I mean, honestly, all I can tell myself is just because I don't want to tell myself, you hear like a lot of people, they'll be like, just focus on yourself and don't think about that and blah 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 and just be successful and then shit will happen. Which is right. I mean, I think that's good advice. Like, just follow what I'm good at. Continue to do what I'm doing. I'm on a good path. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm hoping I'm not gonna like die a meth addict on fucking the street, right? That's probably, hopefully, not what's in store for me. You never know, though. However, I don't want to just sit idly by, right? Because I did that in high school. Nothing happened, right? I don't want to just, fucking, like, what did I do? Today, like, once I got back, did my laundry, I sat in my dorm room. Well, I fell asleep for, like, a couple hours because I was exhausted. And I just sat here on my phone. Yeah, I just sat in my room, And it's like, it's like sitting in my room doing jack shit is not gonna get me to where I want to be, right? So I think the solution is to be a little bit more outgoing, I guess, or just be a little bit more active in, I guess, school culture, a little bit more active in just in general, going out more. And wait, when I say going out, I don't mean to like parties and stuff. The whole party thing, well, first of all, you're not gonna meet the love of your life there at a party. Those are not the people I'm trying to meet. Like, it was fun for like a night. And sure, I guess going out to parties is fine, but not to like find people. That's not gonna be the right solution. But yeah, just like going out more, like not fucking sitting around in my room waiting. Like, that's TS is not the solution. Yeah, so I mean, I feel a little bit better already. Y'all could see, right? Okay, maybe I don't look it, but the cogs are turning in my brain right now. I think it's all just, and maybe a part of it is just in my head, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are in the same boat as me. And like I said, I don't think I'm like I don't think I look like Shrek, right? I don't think I have to like be concerned that no girl will ever fucking love me or some shit. Or no girl will ever think I'm at least a little bit attractive. So, oh my god, my voice, man. Ugh. Like, I don't think that's a concern I should have. That's probably a fear that's in my head that doesn't have to be. I can like kind of erase that thought. Or, let me know in the comments, chopped or not. Just, you can let me know. Yeah, comment down below. Am I chopped? Yes or no? I don't know how good the lighting is. If the lighting's bad, the lighting's bad. I swear it's like 40-inch bicep. Anyways. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like kind of just in my head. And if like just like go out more, be more outgoing, see what happens. Go with the flow a little bit. I think this is a good scenario to go with the flow. You never know who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna do. I think that's pretty factual. I don't really have much else to say. Just to reiterate the be your own therapist part. I think it's just such a valuable skill of being one self-aware. Like, if you're not self-aware, you might just turn out to be that fucking Jenkins person where you just fucking sing and think you're good at singing, and you'll scream out into the world and think you're bellowing some beautiful opera, right? And you're just like, oh, and you think that you sound amazing, when in actuality you sound like shit. And you don't want to live in La La Land, right? Be self-aware. You can do that by having active reflection all the time. All the time I'm reflecting, like, because like it's not like I have to sit down and like make a video and like say it out loud, and articulate every single little thing. I do it probably subconsciously at this point, but I definitely do it like when I'm walking around on campus. I'll think in my head, like, just think, right? Just sit there thinking about, like, reflecting on the day, reflecting on stuff. And it's such a useful tool, I feel like, of being super aware about myself, being able to reflect on my like performance, the social interactions I have, or, all that stuff. It's all done, right? And it's all become second nature to me because I've been doing this for a while. And then again, I do think it is helpful to just sit here and talk. There's something about saying stuff out loud versus just saying it in your head. I think there's a difference there. it feels more real once you actually like out loud articulate stuff. Um, yeah, and I can't remember my other reason. It's probably something good though. Oh yeah, you can actually release emotions that you don't want, right? Like I feel a lot of negative energy towards myself right now. And now this might sound like I'm some like, you know, fucking Shaolin temple monk or something saying this. I don't believe in like chakras and you know, energy and like but I definitely feel like emotions, and you can let go of emotions, and maybe those emotions are personified as negative energy, who knows? Or as different forms of energy. I don't know, man. Maybe I should just be like a shaman or something. But like I said, being able to let go of these emotions that you don't want is useful. It's just good. It's a nice skill to have. Not have to wallow in self-pity all the time. Don't have to sit there in anger and seething anger all the time. That's not what I want to do. That's not what you probably want to do. So yeah, yeah, those are just those reasons to be your own therapist. But seriously, bro, try it out. Try fucking talking to yourself. Maybe, who knows? Maybe people are like listening outside my door and they think I'm crazy. Maybe I am like a little bit, or maybe this is just like a really sad and lonely endeavor that I'm going on. But I think, I don't know. You're not always gonna have someone there for you. You're not always gonna have someone to call. Well, maybe to call. You would hope that you have. I would hope that everyone has at least like one person. Maybe it's your fucking mom that you can call and know they're gonna pick up and know that they can help you. But sometimes, you know, you can't call your fucking mom for every little thing and every little emotion you feel. That's inconsiderate to your mom, right? In all honesty. So you got to deal with it yourself, and you got to be your own therapist sometimes. Put on the objective reasoning hat and look at your situation objectively, and start making some plays that can help you improve on your situation. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, like this little session is gonna help me get out of my rut, my self-pity rut. I think another good thing is just setting daily goals. I've been doing that recently, although I failed this whole weekend because I felt like shit. I'm also sick, so give me some grace. But tomorrow, I have to wake up fucking early to go to physical therapy at 8 fucking o'clock, right? Which is fine. Then I'm gonna go work out, and then I don't have class till like 1:30. So I'm probably gonna like do work. I'm gonna work on math, and then I'm gonna apply to internships, and also apply to on-campus jobs. That's my goal tomorrow. That's my goal. And then obviously like go to like physics and philosophy. Those are my classes tomorrow. Oh wait, no. Is it? I have 3 classes, bro. I have computing for engineers, bro. That shit's so ass. But I'll low-key probably just chat with my boy with my homie in that class instead of actually listening, because the lecturer she's horrible, and I feel bad, but she's not good at teaching. I can't understand her, so I also already did the homework, so I don't know. I don't know, dude. BP songs, bro. Speak about influencing. Maybe it's not even the BP edits, bro. It's just the BP songs, like freaking. It's bad. I should take it off. I have this one on my playlist. It's like, I see it in your eyes that you wanna get high. It's like, put it on me. It's the part that you love. One kiss and we fucking. I just can't get enough. It's like Little Peep or something, or Lil Peep. Like that shit. Like that's probably fucking with the brain chem. So I might have to remove that shit off my playlist. But it's also such a good song. And like I low-key be like walking around with the AirPods in, like walking to class, and I get that song on, and I'm like, and I just start mogging. I'm like, so I don't know. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully next video is less somber. I feel like that's another thing. Like a lot of my videos are I feel like have negative like feelings to them, just because I usually like employ my therapy, my self-therapy, like, well now it's like with the camera and like with my microphone and like talking to myself in my dorm room, but I usually employ it when I'm feeling sad. But yeah, there's other stuff I want to talk about that's not as sad. This philosophy class has got me thinking. Maybe that'll be my next episode, and it will be more happy. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, guys, peace out. Comment if I'm chopped or not. And I don't know. Be your own therapist, man. That's all you really got to do sometimes. Just be your own therapist.